Hi Anti-Society, welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet, and today we are reading episodes 19 and 20 of Tower of God. So in the last couple of episodes, we really got to see Lore and Anak, their teams fighting each other, mostly them fighting each other, and we learned that Lore is a Shinsu user, which we've seen a little bit of, I think, from like Lororo and like other people who can kind of manipulate Shinsu. There seems to be some interesting connotations to what exactly that is and like how people are going to use that, but we did get to see Lore kind of show off a little bit and see him really use some of his tactical skills and take advantage of what his teammates are capable of, and playing off of the fact that it is a lot easier to be a defending team in this little bonus round that we're going through than to be one of the offensive teams. So really getting to see Lore's more strategic and intellectual side, but also like some cool combat things that he was using. And of course we got to see Anna kind of showing off her skills and her weapon as she tried to defend the throne and the crown. But we did have a little hiccup near the end of the episode where we had the Black March reacting to Anak's weapon. It seems that both Anak and Bomb both have one of these. I can't remember exactly what it was called. There was a specific name that they were using for their weapons, but they both have these like spirit entity consciousness things in them. They're both very like special types of weapons, and we had the Black March reacting to Anak using her weapon, vice versa, Anak's weapon also acknowledging that the Black March is there, and Anak showing that she knows what the Black March is. And we got a little hint from the way that Lady Yuri and Evan were talking about the Black March that it's kind of a famous weapon, as well as Khun's reaction when we first saw it. So Anak, noticing that the Black March was there, decided to abandon this bonus round altogether and leave the throne to go and make a beeline for Bomb and the Black March, and demanded to have the Black March as her own, which I feel like isn't gonna go well, partly because we've got like Rock and Khun there that are probably going to try and defend their teammate against him being attacked by one of the other teams, I would hope. But also I don't think Bomb is gonna like give it to her, one because he needs it a lot of the time just to like be able to get through the tower, to be able to progress, but also like knowing kind of the innocent side of Bomb at this point in the story, he's like, I borrowed it from Lady Yuri, like he's gonna have to give it back to her. So I feel like he will defend it partly because of that, just being like, I have to give this back to someone else, like I'm not keeping it forever. But also he made a deal with the like entity in the Black March, so I feel like even the Black March wouldn't want to be handed over, because we know from Lady Yuri that she's a little bit difficult to deal with and to like negotiate with. So the fact that she likes Bomb makes it less likely that she's just gonna be okay with being handed over to somebody else. It looks like we're going to have to fight Anak, maybe. I don't know if like Lororo or any of the other people that are in charge of this part of the tower are going to intervene if the teams decide to fight each other like outside of the actual challenges or not. Let's just get into episode 19. Okay, episode 19, we have Anak charging in. I'm not sure if, one, did he always have the knife? Do I not remember that Khun has had this knife? And two, I don't know about how he's holding it. Probably not an important detail. The needle weapons. I remember they said something else about Anak's though. Can't remember exactly what it was called. I never noticed that Khun had like a sword or something on the little, I don't know, bandana thing. I love Shibitsu. He's just like running in and he's just like gonna call Anak out for making them lose. I mean, they have to lose now, right? I look at Anak's being like all intimidating and serious, and then Shibitsu's just like over her shoulder. I remember learning about Ashul. I think I remember when like Evan and Lady Yuri were talking about what the Black March was. I don't have any context, I don't know who that is, but so there are 13 weapons within this series. Is Anak's one of them, perhaps? Yes, the king gave them to his daughters, as we saw with Lady Yuri. Okay, daughter of Jihad. And we had a reference to Jihad with Lady Yuri as well. Are the daughters of Jihad like the daughters of the king, whether or not that's like biologically speaking, or if it's like adoption of like the best fighters, or adoption for political reasons or whatever, is that one of the connections. So like there are like what, 13 of these weapons? Yeah. So 13 of these weapons, maybe there are 13 daughters. Each one of them has one, and then Lady Yuri and Anak both have one? Question mark? I love Shibutsu's like shocked face. The reveal. Ooh, is she a princess? Is it Lady Anak? Hats also seems interested in the revelation, though less expressive. Ooh, look at that look from Rock though. See? So Lady Yuri is a daughter of Jihad. I couldn't remember exactly. I knew that there was a connection to Jihad with Lady Yuri, but I couldn't remember exactly what the wording was of it. I was like, I remember there was a king that gave her the weapon and that there was a connection to Jihad, but I couldn't remember exactly what Lady Yuri was in that situation. So Lady Yuri, also a daughter of Jihad. Anak, also a daughter. Interesting. Oh, Green April. So Black March, Green April. There are 13 though. Is there a different month? Is there a month that like isn't in our world but is in this one? Because we only have 12. What's odd? What is your brain coming up with, Kun? See, I was like, Bomb is gonna be like, I can't give it to you because I have to return it. Does that mean that Anak and Lady Yuri know each other? I'm assuming if they're both daughters of Jihad. Is that gonna be awkward when they both see each other? Because Lady Yuri is like trying to find Bomb, so I assume it will happen at some point. Oh, they're gonna have to fight her. Unless someone like intervenes. A little bit frustrated, maybe. Oh, so Lororo did intervene in the fight. I was wondering if he would, if there would be a reason for him to like stop the fighting that was happening. Looks like Anna kind of wants to pick a fight though, but I guess like there is a bit of a hierarchy, right? Like someone who is like an administrator, because I'm pretty sure Lororo is the administrator of the floor. I keep getting the like rankings wrong on like who's in charge of what because it's confusing to me. He's a ranker, right? So like he has made it to the top of the tower and come back. So I'm assuming that there's a certain amount of authority given to that, like, and I don't know if you're like a ranker how you rank other people, like how much power kings and princesses and stuff like that have in comparison. I'm sure it'll get explained eventually, but you're kind of like on the fence of it, like whether or not she will try to pick a fight with him at some point or get back at him in some way. I mean, that fight definitely has to happen at some point, right? Because we've set it up. Yeah, administrator got it right. Can you just like use someone else's weapon as a prize? Like, can you just like submit someone else's weapon as the prize to something? Because that seems like not a fair thing. But again, we have established that the tower is not fair, like most of the time. It seems like he likes where this is gonna go. Lororo, please. It's gonna happen, isn't it? Bomb's gonna have to like fight a bunch of people to keep his weapon or he'll lose it. I never like it when someone says, let's play a game. It's never good. They're always planning something. They always have something up their sleeve. It's never a good thing. Ooh, she's gonna bet the Green April as well. High stakes. I love the idea of like Bomb having like these two supercharged weapons that he's just like won and taken like as he's progressing through the tower. Like that would make him incredibly powerful if he had both of them. I mean, same with Anak getting both of them as well, I suppose, but I guess I just want to have faith that Bomb will win, at least to be able to keep his weapon, because I like the idea of him having a powerful weapon, considering that he can't really fight, so the powerful weapon kind of balances that out a little bit. Oh, okay. So they're not going to fight each other necessarily, because I'm assuming Anak and her team aren't going to be allowed to be in the test anymore. So it's just that they're going to have to, Bomb's team's just going to have to survive the whole thing. Like they're going to have to win this test, which honestly would be an interesting thing to win. They would get to progress before everyone else because they get like a free pass for the next part of the tower, and they would have the two like 13-month weapons. That would make them quite a force to be reckoned with going forward. It's a good point, Bomb. You actually don't have to participate. Like just because someone offers you a deal doesn't mean you have to take it. Okay, so that's, you know, that's a reason. It's a reason to agree. It's one of those things where like, at least if you're fighting, like, do you want to fight, know that you have to fight Anak? Or do you want to take your chances and have to fight the other teams? There's that mystery team though, with the other irregular and princess. So like there's another maybe daughter of Jihad? There might be other princesses. So there's that also. I don't know what I would choose. I'm trying to think what I would choose before we like see, but I'm assuming Bomb's gonna like take the bet because that's how we're gonna continue with this test and continue with the story. But I think I might, I don't know, is it better to fight an enemy you know or to take your chances on possibly fighting an easier enemy that you don't know yet? You have to fight more people though if you take the test. They're gonna take the test anyway though. So I guess if you're like already planning to win the test, you're just kind of upping the stakes of that. I don't know what I would choose. And I guess too, also at least with the test, there are like rules of some kind, as opposed to like having to fight Anak outside of one of these tests, that there would be like no rules or like backup from like Lororo and the other people that run this part of the tower to like intervene in anything. Weak teammates. I don't like you talking about Rock like that, and neither does he, apparently. Kun especially looks unamused. That's also a thing to consider. If you're fighting in the test, you are also putting 2 other people on the line for something that you're reaping the benefits of, as opposed to like fighting on your own. But like Bomb definitely cannot beat Anak. I was thinking of it like, oh, if you can fight Anak as a team, then maybe you'll be okay. But like, if he has to fight her alone, no, definitely don't. Take the test. You need the backup. Oh, Kun's like ready to beat some people up and prove that he's not a weak teammate, and probably also just back up Bomb. I forgot that Kun used to call other people extras. That's such a like Kachan thing. Like if you guys seen My Hero Academia, he does the same thing where he's just like the extras because he can't remember people's names. Rock's like ready. I was like expecting him to push the button earlier than this, honestly. I felt like he just wanted to pick a fight with everyone. I love how dramatic Rock is. Look at that sly grin though. It's literally the end. Ah, I'm excited. Okay, on to episode 20. Episode 20. Lororo just going along with it. So if they're saying that Anak can't steal the Black March, does that mean that they are going to reinforce that in some way? Or can they just like get to another floor and if she loses, she'll just try and get it back? I mean, I guess if Bomb has both of those weapons, that maybe fighting him would be futile. Way to like actually look down your nose at people though. Is Hats angry that Anak like went off into her own selfish thing instead of being part of the team? Because that seems like something that they would be angry about. Is this a glance at the mystery team? Because the mystery team like has a princess on it, right? So I'm like, Anak probably knows them. What do the squiggles mean? Were we reading lips? What's happening? Something triggered her. I feel like we were reading lips. What was said? Is Hats reining in their teammate? I thought maybe Lororo would get involved because he was like, calm down, like no more of this, was kind of where Lororo was coming from. So I feel like if Anak tries anything on this floor, he's gonna like step in and be like, none of that. Yeah, see, because we know that Hats is like, the team has to be a collective, right? So people can't just like go off and do their own thing. They have to like respect and work together, which is apparently not where Anak is at when it comes to teamwork. There's a lot of grinning in this of people just sort of making plans and provoking each other, which, you know, I mean, considering that it's like a tower where they are going to have to compete against each other in some capacity, it's bound to happen, I suppose, the schemes going on. Time to get ready. Are you going to join the round and fight? Because I feel like you're the mystery team and that makes me very nervous because Bomb has to fight now. I mean, silver lining, they don't have to fight Anak now, so there's that. You know, the crown is wide open for anybody to take it. I feel like a lot more people are going to join in now because I feel like a lot of them are going to be like Lorray. I think someone told me it was Lorray, and I think I said Lore earlier, like I have been. But he figured out that it's advantageous to start getting into the rounds now because, you know, it's easier to defend the throne and the crown than it is to be offensive. So I feel like a lot more people are going to be joining into these last, like this third round, definitely the fourth one, and everybody's going to want to be in the last round. So it's going to be some stiff competition going forward. It's true. Bomb is one of those people where like someone showing like even like the tiniest bit of kindness towards him, and I feel like he kind of latches onto them. I feel like Bomb sees himself as like very much needing others, like relying on others, which is like why Rachel is like such an important pillar to like who he sees himself as, that anyone showing like even a little bit of kindness or help towards him, he kind of like latches onto that because he's so used to kind of seeing himself in more of a helpless place that I feel like, you know, the moment that Kun was like even slightly interested in helping him or like showing compassion to him, he was like fully invested in like being on a team with him and fighting with him, like fighting alongside him, and like totally fine with just like trusting him right off the bat. So I feel like the Black March like helping him and like kind of making this deal to be like, all right, I've decided to help you. Bomb would feel a lot of loyalty towards that because I feel like he is very desperate for people to like care about him, for people to be compassionate to him, and I'm not really sure what the story is behind that, like what prompted that. Like we did sort of hear a little bit of his backstory where he was talking about being like alone, so I wonder if it's like an abandonment thing, but I wonder if there's like more behind the story of like why he so strongly like latches onto people and really like feels a strong connection to them, even if my suspicions of like his relationship with Rachel is like less of a friendship and more of a dependency. Oh hey, I was just talking about Rachel. We're in a flashback, aren't we? How to become a cool guy. I mean, I don't think he got to cool, but you know, he got to adorable, which I prefer. Why do I feel like this is foreshadowing that Rachel is going to betray him? I just feel like it's this very like strong feeling and that she's expressing. I feel like she's gonna betray him in some way. I already felt like that. I already felt like Rachel was kind of gonna discard Bomb anyway, from the vibe that I'm getting from like her and their relationship, which, you know, obviously limited because I haven't seen a lot of her, but I sense betrayal in the future. Oh, honey, you are gonna get your heart broken by this Rachel girl, and I just hope you have somebody sweet around you when it happens. And if nothing else, you have Rock, who I'm sure will pick a fight with them if you ask him to. The contrast though, like the idea of like betrayal and trust. So it's like Bomb being on the side of I can never ever betray someone, and I feel like Bomb will very much keep that at heart. I feel like Bomb is the kind of person where when he makes a promise to someone, it's genuine. Like he will do everything he possibly can to adhere to that promise, and then contrast that with Khun and like his sister, I'm pretty sure, or was it Lady Maria? I can't remember I don't know if it was specified specifically in the comic. I don't know if someone told me in the comments. I don't remember. But the older person in his life that influenced him saying like, don't trust anyone. And Khun's kind of his own struggles with that, like we already went through with when he was trying to get past Hansung's challenge. And I think just like having those two people together is going to be interesting. Like I feel like Bomb is the kind of person that Khun needs in his life because he's so genuine and he's so straightforward, and like nothing Bomb does has like an ulterior motive. Like he's just like, this is who I am, and even when he's like, I can't tell you the full truth, he's still like completely genuine. So I feel like he's a good influence on Khun's life. Whether Khun will be a good influence on Bomb's life, I don't know, because I'm still just waiting for the tower to wreck Bomb. Why are we picking on Rock? I hope their friendship becomes extremely adorable. Okay, that also seems that I could never do that. I don't know if that's a trust thing or if that's a like, he could never like believe in someone's trust enough that he would be willing to do anything in his power to protect them. I don't know what to make of Khun, because I feel like I want to like him, and I do like him, but I also feel like there's so many layers underneath like what he chooses to show people that I also feel like I have only this tiniest idea of like who he actually is. I feel like there's so much going on in his head and like underneath his kind of outside persona that I just find it hard to fully trust him. Maybe that's intentional. Maybe he doesn't want people to trust him. Who's gonna sit on the throne? I'm assuming they're gonna make Bomb do it. If he's like the least useful to have in combat, they wouldn't make Rock do it. It wouldn't make any sense to have him on the throne, nor would I think he comply to that very well. Like I feel like Rock would not like being sat on the throne while everyone else is fighting. But I wonder if maybe Khun would be better. I don't know if Khun is good with like they don't really have anyone who's good at long range fighting the way that like Anak and Lorraine was. So I wonder if they're gonna put Bomb on just because he's like the weakest link in terms of fighting skills, or if they're gonna put Khun on because he has some ability that makes him better at range attacks, because we've only seen him in like close combat briefly when he was like fighting with Rock a little bit. So I don't know who will end up on the throne. I say this like I'm like they're gonna get on the throne, like they'll be fine. They could lose. It's entirely possible. I'm assuming these are the other teams. Right, there was the scary guy with the wings. Not looking forward to learning about him because there were a lot of dead bodies around him when we saw him in the like first challenge of Effenkel's floor. He seems a little bit heartless, and that worries me. Why is Khun so scary in this with like this giant knife and like that smile on his face? That's like some scary movie stuff right there. Ba-da-ba-ba. So it looks like we are finally going to get into Bomb getting involved in this little bonus round that has been going on, getting into some of the more interesting parts of this challenge. We kind of had the first couple of rounds that were a way for us to learn about these other characters, other people who are venturing through the tower along with Bomb, finding out what their abilities are, what their capabilities are, kind of putting in perspective that Bomb might be like an irregular and special in his own way, but there are a lot of really powerful and capable people who are also in the tower. The more that kind of the numbers get dwindled and dwindled, you get more like elite people joining in on these challenges. So I do like that we are starting to see all of these different abilities, whether it's Loray's Shinsu using, or it's, you know, finding out that Anak is one of these princesses of Jihad. So it's one of those things where all of these people have their own special reasons for making it this far into the tower. I really think it's intriguing that we are getting a kind of bet that is happening with whoever wins, or I guess Bomb wins, then he gets to have 2 of these very special weapons, which we learned a little bit more context behind. You know, we know that there are 13 now, which also implies that there are 13 princesses, so something to continue with. I really don't know if it's something that is, I don't think it's hereditary. I think it's probably like a title, or a way of like an adoption kind of thing, or like it's a certain status that you get inducted into, because I remember Maria was like the connection with Kun, like she became one of like a princess or something. So I feel like there are more layers to like how exactly that system works that I will eventually learn about as I get further into the series. There's so much world building in this that it's hard sometimes for me to keep up with it. Learning about that, learning that there are a bunch of these weapons out there, so Bomb might end up with 2 of them, which would definitely make him a force to be reckoned with, even though he can't really use them. I wonder if there will be a time when like he gets trained to use them. Like I wonder if like Kun or Rock is going to teach him how to fight, to like make him like a more useful teammate, or like have it be a way for him to protect himself, that kind of thing, or if he'll learn from someone else that they meet along the way. I don't really know how, we haven't seen a lot of like time in between challenges, so I don't really know when they would have the time to make that happen. But it could also be that later on one of the challenges is like more drawn out and they'll have more time to figure out something like how to train Bomb to actually do some of the fighting himself. You know, that's only if he wins. If he loses all of these rounds, then he will lose the Black March, and that would definitely put him at a disadvantage, because again, he can't really fight. So losing a weapon that like kind of has its own consciousness, that has its own immense power to it, would definitely put him in a rough spot where he wouldn't have anything that was protecting him except like his teammates. So I mean, as much as I'm like, he has to win because he's the protagonist, I also feel like I've read enough webcomics that I know sometimes they just rip my heart out and they're like, you thought this was going to be like that kind of a story, but instead it is just tragedy. I don't know where this is going to go, because part of me is like Bomb has to win. Another part of me is like the tower definitely does not do favors for people unless there is something that it will get at. Like if it's far more beneficial, I think. I don't know if Bomb will win, especially with this mystery team that has joined in. It looks like they are going to join into this round as well, which I think is the team that has the other irregular and this princess. It seems to be that this princess is the one that was talking to Anak that kind of provoked her. I assume that they were both Jihad's princesses. And then we have the irregular. Whether or not that is Rachel, like I've been like thinking maybe it would be. I don't know. I guess we'll find out in the next round if there is a connection there. Everything's sort of coming to a moment of everyone kind of being together and fighting it out, and we'll see how Bomb's team does. I'm really curious to see who ends up on the throne with the crown. As far as I know, they don't have anyone who's really good at distance attacks, like range attacks, which means that having someone there feels like a disadvantage in terms of like, you just won't have someone who can really fight unless someone's like directly in front of them. So curious to see who exactly ends up on the throne. I feel like it won't be Rock, but it might be funny if it's Rock, because he would just rage at the idea that he has to sit there and wait for people to come and fight him. If you like this video, you can click this playlist to watch my previous reactions, or you can subscribe. I post new Tower of God videos every Tuesday, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!